You want to buy the new AO3 in-ear monitors from Astro using astro.family/Datto to get 5% off. You do. Hello everyone, I am back, and today we're going to be going over some of the exotics that were teased today in the exotic weapon and armor trailer for Beyond Light. I'm going to explain the weapon, or the armor, and then give my pre-release hot take on how I think it's going to perform. If you don't want any exotic spoilers, the time to leave is now. I'm sorry for getting this up a little bit late, but apparently my bribe of running the marketing department of Bungie through all of the raids that they want in exchange for them releasing trailers at not 7 a.m. was not accepted, so you hate to see it. You've seen 17 other videos, so why not make mine the 18th? Here we go. Let's do the weapons first. No Time to Explain is the first weapon we'll take a look at, a returning D1 exotic. Initially, I thought if Bungie returned this weapon as is from Destiny 1 into Destiny 2, it would have gotten the same amount of use that it did in Destiny 1, which is basically next to nothing. In Destiny 2, it's getting a little bump up. Precision hits and hits against enemies affected by stasis, I'm assuming that to mean frozen, will return ammo to the magazine. That effect is more or less the same as it was in Destiny 1. However, stack the effect to summon a portal which will fire bullets from an alternate timeline of the weapon. Thematically, I love what they did with it. The effect seems really fun, but I am skeptical of how effective the extra bullets will be. And this is going to be the theme of today's video. Without knowing how much damage things do, it's really tough to determine how good those things will be. The portal is the new part, but the returning bullets is returning from Destiny 1, and it didn't really make a huge impact on the weapon's performance back then. With damage perks still reigning supreme, I think I would still prefer to take the damage perks. I also assume that the portal bullets will deal around the same amount of damage as normal bullets will. For now, I'll say this is potentially going to be average to maybe slightly above average. This is going to be a fun novelty when the game first comes out, but exotic primaries really need to be good to warrant their use. Cloud Strike is a sniper of an unknown ammo type where precision final blows generate lightning bolts at the target location, with rapid hits summoning an entire storm. When I first saw the description in the trailer, my initial thought was, oh, it's Zen Meteor from Destiny 1, but maybe a little less bad. Then I went on to the website and saw the fuller description, and I'm slightly more on board. The trailer shows a triple kill in PvP because people were all stacked up and stuff. Do I think there will be plenty of clips where multiple people die to a lightning explosion? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to happen often enough to warrant its use? Maybe not. My guess is that this is going to be a special ammo sniper given the perk, but if it's power ammo, it needs to hit like a truck. PvE-wise, again, I'm kind of skeptical. Bungie typically doesn't overdo AoE damage effects on weapons, and this would need to hit pretty hard for it to be worth it to me. It has a chance of being good, though. You know, look at Dragonfly with a Dragonfly mod. My Nation of Beasts hand cannon with that combo, it's pretty good now. So there's some hope. The Lament, exotic sword. Block to rev the blade up, then shred through shielded enemies. Yes, that means barrier champions. At its peak, damaging an enemy will heal the wielder. If swords stay as strong as they are right now, this has potential to be really good for barrier champions. The amount you need to rev the blade up will determine how good this ends up being. The heal effect also potentially makes it so you can stay in the fray a lot longer than you normally could because stuff like boss stomps really hurt. Plus, the thing also looks amazing, so well done there. Ariana's Vow, still in the game though, it's not going away, but it's not like it's impossible to do Master or even Grandmaster content with swords. As of right now, it's more or less encouraged. Salvation's Grip is a grenade launcher. Each fired projectile will create stasis crystals that freeze targets, and you can charge it up to increase the amount of crystals and the freeze radius. This is literally Stasis, the grenade launcher. From the trailer, it didn't seem like the initial blast did any damage though, which is where this might lose some points. Tough to tell from the marketing material though. The fate of this gun will entirely depend on how good Stasis can be on its own. Moving to armor now, let's start with the Titan exotics. Icefall Mantle is where you replace your Barricade class ability with an Overshield. Yes, your class ability becomes an Overshield. I'm assuming that the ability cooldown will go up to make it so you can't just spam this relentlessly, but if not, whoo boy, this is gonna be a good one. Maybe not original One-Eyed Mask good, but still pretty good. This will also be decent for some solo PvE or for content where you need to stay alive, for when you're tired of your Barricade not being able to block that one little pebble of damage that comes in from the side from that blast, and then you die, and then why would you even bother putting up the wall? This also has some build potential with Top Tree Sentinel if it does work with Defensive Strike's melee ability regeneration. Precious Scars is where upon revives, the Titan gains an Overshield aura that protects the wearer and nearby allies. This has potential nightmarish implications for trials, as you could revive someone and give your entire team an Overshield and then push the enemy team at a massive advantage. What is needed is info on the radius at which shields will stay on your teammates. In PvE, I don't see as much value. In low tier content, dying has no penalties at all, which makes this kind of meaningless, but in high tier content, most of the time, you're dying to massive burst damage, enough damage that an Overshield might not really matter. At the same time though, I run Helm of Saint 14 in GM Nightfalls. There's not a ton else to really run as a defender in GM Nightfalls, unless you want to play very offensively. So maybe this does end up being a viable option for more defensive-minded players. Who knows? Certainly can't hurt. Hunters, it's your turn. The first exotic is Mask of Bacchus, where your dodge ability is replaced with a longer range shift ability that temporarily cloaks the wearer on use. Just what we needed in PvP, hunters with even more movement options. Woo! Love it. PvE, this is going to be a personal preference exotic. PvP, I see this being a potential nightmare to play against, and that's all I really have for you. You know what it does. You have seen what it does. This has huge potential. Oh, how do I even say this next one? Arthrises. Danielle, how do you say this exotic?
Arthris's Embrace?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Arthrisis?
Arthris's. Or it could be Arthries Embrace, but Arthrises.
Arthrises?
Arthrises. Could be Arthrises. It's someone's embrace.
Yeah, I'm just going to call you Arthur. Arthur's Embrace. The hunter's throwing knife gains a second ricochet, and rapid precision hits gain a damage bonus and can temporarily stagger enemies. I'm assuming this means rapid throwing knife hits and not just weapon damage, but I could be wrong. I don't know how much people are really ricocheting their throwing knives, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say not a ton. So I don't know how much a second ricochet is really going to do for most people unless it gets insane tracking. The damage and stagger potential, on the other hand, is a bit more appealing, but I'm not sure it'll be enough to push this into mainstream territory. We'll see. Warlocks, y'all got a couple of good ones. Dawn Chorus makes your Daybreak projectiles deal more damage. They cause enemies to burn, and you gain melee energy each time a burn damages a target. Well, if you were looking for a boost to Bottom Tree Dawnblade, here it is. But this also has great potential for Top Tree, as if Top Tree needed more reasons to be good and or generate ability energy. This is a pretty self-explanatory exotic though. Seems pretty good on paper, and I have no reason to believe it won't be good in-game unless the damage and ability boosts are very, very low. Finally, Necrotic Grip. Melee attacks corrupt enemies with increasing damage over time. Killing a corrupted enemy spreads corruption to nearby enemies and restores melee energy. I feel like Bungie has always been very hesitant to put out strong damage over time or AoE effects into Destiny. It seems like they don't want people just AoEing everything down or having damage over time effects actually be super lethal. Which is why I'm going to say I'm skeptical of the power of this exotic just purely based on past experiences. However, if the damage over time ends up being strong enough, I can see many people trying to do melee builds with this exotic. Imagine if it works with Top Tree Dawnblade. Just imagine. I don't even want to. The only thing I'd be skeptical about is higher tier content where death actually matters. Is it going to be feasible to run into a group of enemies to poison them only to potentially die and then have the poison just deal 15% of their health bar? Probably not. Notably missing from this list is Hawkmoon. Still have no idea how Hawkmoon's going to work out, how it's being changed. None of that was revealed. There could also be a couple more hidden exotics. None of the weapons seem like they would be the raid exotic if there is one. Maybe the grenade launcher, but, who really knows for certain. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys for now. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.